not a van, not a car, not a mistake. And welcome to our Honda Element, not a van tour.
I'm Lainey and this is Shawn.
And we built a thing.
We just got back from a 5-week road trip. We went through 9 different states in the western US. We drove about 5,800 miles, so our 2008 Honda did a really great job.
So this is a tour of the vehicle that we took on that trip, why we built what we built, how we camped in it, kind of how much it costs. Spoiler alert, we didn't really build much of this. We just kind of zip tied it into our car and it worked really well. So this is our no build Honda Element camper tour.
We built our car as a boondocking vehicle. It has a great kitchen, living space, and bed. There's no bathroom or shower in here. We kind of supplemented our trip staying with friends and family. The reason we chose the Honda Element for a camper is affordability. We loved the idea of a van, but the price of vans right now are just through the roof. The second thing is neither of us are really good at building things and have never built a van, so we figured, would we want to take a lot of time and take a lot of money, or throw something together that works well enough?
So we bought our Honda Element for $6,500 after a few repairs. We spent about $1,300 to build this thing from an empty shell into the beautiful camping extravaganza that you see here now. We didn't want to name our car, but we ended up naming it Toastie because it looks like
a toaster.
Yeah. I'm not good at building things. And when we were planning our builds, the price of lumber was really high. So what we decided was, how can we get a few things in here as easily as possible without like screws and wood? And the solution was something called a dunnage rack. So these are essentially like kitchen restaurant shelves. They are made of aluminum. They're modular. They're lightweight. They're incredibly strong. This rack is rated to hold 800 pounds. So this is 18 inches wide, 48 inches long. The legs that they come with are literally like marked off and graded for 1-inch increments, so you can adjust and level the height of the bed. The feet are all adjustable plastic stoppers, so you can sort of like screw them up or down to make the bed like really, really level, since the 1-inch increment's not always perfect. The Honda Element interior slopes toward the driver's seat. It really helps to know that like this is set for 8 inches of clearance. At the front where the fridge is set for 9 inches of clearance, and that actually makes the bed perfectly level or very close to it. On the other side of the bed is a similar but slightly lighter weight dunnage rack. This is rated for 600 pounds. It's 14 inches wide by 48 inches long. Same legs, same company, same clearance, 8 inches high here, 9 inches high there. We had to do 2 slightly different sizes because we really wanted an aisle to be able to reach in and grab things, to be able to like store things like that. It's about an 11-inch wide aisle.
I personally really pushed for this because I felt if we had 2 of the large sizes, we would have not enough of an aisle size to move your feet in and out. Even this one right here is kind of to maneuver just a little bit to make sure you don't unplug the fridge by accident, but it's still very comfortable. But if we had 2 small ones and a really wide aisle, we would have lost a couple inches of storage, which just wasn't okay for how much stuff we wanted to fit into the car.
Yeah. One of the reasons we also went with the dunnage rack was that we could easily attach it to the Honda Element. So there's 2 attachment points at the back of the vehicle. There's little metal brackets that fold down. We realized really quickly that all we needed to do was make sure that these didn't rattle or slide, since no one would be sitting on these while we were driving. There's 1 zip tie on the back thing here and a few into the storage area. There's another attachment point midway through the vehicle on both sides. Again, it's that same bracket that sort of flips down. There's 3 zip ties at the midpoint, and that's it. It's rock solid. We never heard it rattling. It never shifted. You can reinforce it with a few extra pieces. There's a long running bracket here. Each of them has an extra additional support. The additional support also helps the zip ties attach. We're actually turning our car back into a car for a few weeks. So we're just gonna cut the zip ties, take them out, and it's gonna be a car. We're gonna put the seats back in. The other reason that we wanted this exact width aisle is that it worked with our very weird solution for how to make it a bed at night. So this is our sort of modular bed. These are paint stir sticks that we got for $1 for like a huge bundle. What we did is we just glued them together. We took some neodymium crystals. We did these really strong magnets, 1, 2, 3. And then there's like a tiny lip here to help keep it from sliding off the bed. Again, the width of the bench is really important, 14 inches. So we cut them to be just the right size. They slide over. Those magnets grab onto the metal here. The lip keeps it from sliding out. And individually, they're not that strong, but you know, there's a dozen of them and they hold the weight really well. Yeah, they're really strong. We were waiting for them to break the whole trip and they just didn't. They worked really well. That's sort of the thought process behind the frame.
So I was initially going to sew the upholstery cushions myself, and then my sewing machine kind of didn't like the width and weight of this thread and fabric because it's old. So we decided, when you can, let a professional do a better job. So this is the one thing we actually paid for someone to do in our build, was to actually make the box cushions themselves for the upholstery. We cut our own mattress itself, which is a 3-inch memory foam. It has like a charcoal and a bamboo infused one. It's just the one that we picked. Like kind of a semi-firm, so we didn't sink all the way through the memory foam. It's technically just a mattress topper. So after we cut everything to size, I picked out this upholstery fabric from Spoonflower, and it's an outdoor upholstery fabric. So it's really durable. It's made from recycled bottles. It uses really eco-friendly dyes. So they just zip on and off, so we could eventually take them off and wash them when we eventually do need to do that. So the mattress itself was $79. We got it on sale on Amazon. The upholstery we paid for about $200 to have done for us for the 4 pieces all together. Included the zippers, and it included some batting to kind of make them look a little less square. And our fabric was one of the most expensive things we purchased. That was the fabric itself. It was about $140 for 5 yards of this fabric. Outdoor material is expensive compared to just basic cotton. And we considered using just fabric that we already had, but we were saying, you know, that's the one part of the build that we know we're gonna use the most, sit on the most, it's gonna get the most wear and tear. So that was where we did not budge on our quality, was on the fabric and on the upholstery.
So now it's time to build the bed. So here we go.
We could do all this from inside the car. It's a pain in the ass, but it does work. It's just faster if you can have the doors open when you're not being stealth.
9 inches of clearance at the front of the vehicle for these dunnage racks is just the right height to be a pretty good continuation of the mattresses.
Then we take this other odd sized piece of mattress and we just place it kind of over everything. I mean, this is where our feet go, so we know it's not quite level, but that's okay. There's a bit of a hole in this spot. We'll eventually figure out a better method for that.
So we bought a foam mattress on Amazon.
It's a 3-inch thick memory foam. I think it would have been more comfortable with like a 4-inch or a 5-inch.
I think 4-inch would be good.
Maybe even 6-inch, but here's the thing. We knew every inch we had took away from Shawn's head height. So we made a compromise and said, let's do 3 inches. And overall, it's more comfortable than camping, but less comfortable than a real bed.
The interior measurements for the Honda Element, I think, is around 46 inches.
Bigger than a twin, but it's smaller than a full, so we bought a full-sized mattress pad.
It came in this cool sort of thing, but we realized really quickly that these straps, instead of like a fitted sheet, we just use these straps to go around the corners, and it helps keep the cushions together, but it also provides, like, there's a nice little bit of kind of cushy padding, and it makes it feel a lot more like a real bed.
We use these little REI camp pillows. And then we each have our own blanket. It unpacks in a second.
Our bed folds up really quickly. We each take care of our own blanket and pillow.
Ta-da! Back to a living room.
One of the best parts of using the dunnage racks as the base of our bed and benches was a few happy accidents. I learned that you could put a magnet you know, a kitchen magnet bar on here with a few zip ties. You can keep knickknacks and stuff in there. More importantly though is this amazing swivel table that you can build super easily with just a few parts. This is a bamboo cutting board you can get on Amazon for 12 bucks. This is a floor flange with a threading. It's a 1-inch threaded floor flange. Floor flange. Fun to say. You just drill it into the bamboo board, make sure that it doesn't punch all the way through. And look at that. This is a no-build build. It's not attached in any way, shape, or form. It's just a few pieces of threaded galvanized pipe. Again, 1-inch thick. This is the female to male elbow joint to female. We didn't put any kind of foot or bumper on it because the legs for dunnage racks are hollow. There's just a little piece of plastic at the top that you can pop out. We could put the table on this side. We could put the table on this side. And once it's in there, it's just their same, again, it's a standard, you know, width pipe. It doesn't really rattle. It's deep enough where it's not gonna like jump out. And it swivels with no friction. It's incredible. I remember the day we figured this out. We were trying to like zip tie it to the leg and do all the supports. And then I was like, wait, what? I feel like a dum-dum, but also like, I'm proud of myself.
Moments ago.
Oh my God.
News.
All right, so we have these table legs and we bought this piece here to like fit a table leg, and then we were gonna secure it and then have another swivel here. And I'm looking at this and I go like, man, that's really similar size.
I said take the lid off, take the top off.
Yeah, so Lainey's like, pop the top off. I pop it off and I go, wait a minute. Fuck off.
Swivel table!
So when you build the bed at night, you can just take the table off just like that. It sort of spins off. You can stash it in the front, or you can take the whole thing out and put it in the front. This table's been amazing for cook prep, for working on our computers inside, for eating, all sorts of stuff. And we found out it also holds paper towel rack. Not beautifully, but it holds it. The seatbelt holds it in place while you're driving, so it doesn't bang into the back window or anything like that.
I'm going to show you our kitchen setup where we use the tailgate as our cooking surface. All of our cooking supplies and pantry are accessible from the back. So we have to pull the tailgate down, lift up the back hatch. We bring our swivel table out because Shawn is tall and he likes to use this as a prep surface, but I am short and I like to use the tailgate as a prep surface. We have a really handy silicone mat. We put the silicone mat on the tailgate to protect everything from heat. It also provides a fairly clean work surface. We have our gas 1 stove. It's a butane 1 burner stove. Then I start grabbing all the food supplies out. A little bit of Jenga. Now I gotta grab the butane. Butane, there's no way to be stealth about cooking, so don't think about stealth camping if you're cooking dinner. I use bandanas to protect the pot from rattling around. So in these bandanas, we have 2 pots that nestle within each other. First one we have is our Sea to Summit kettle that collapses.
Big, super big.
This is our Pathfinder pot pan skillet. We love this pot. I did so much research trying to figure out which pot I wanted because it needed to be collapsible with the handle. And look at how sturdy this thing is. In this box that we got from the dollar store, because it was the correct height to fit underneath our bed. So we have some collapsible bowls, our melamine plate, and these are melamine, which means they won't break, but they still look pretty good. Got them from Target. Here's some of the utensils that we have in our utensil box. Silicone spatula. I use this for cooking everything. 4 knives. It's tiny, adorable grater. Peeler. Sporks.
Oh, good technique.
Extra Dr. Bronner's biodegradable soap. Our laundry line. It's got little beads, so you don't need clothespins. This is from Sea to Summit. Fresholator. that keeps the air out. And you know what we keep in here? Couscous and our beans, which we buy and our beans, which we buy in the bag because they take up less space than a can. We found this really perfect sized hefty container which fits under our seats so well. And inside this is our pantry. I have a little, like a lunchbox for a child here. We typically keep our food that I don't want to get too warm, like our olive oil and any of our spices, so that nothing goes rancid while we're on the road.
This is where we keep our fridge. We keep it in the sort of front of the storage seating area. It's just the right height fridge to fit. It's 9 inches tall, about 1.5 feet long. The interior of the Honda Element sort of slopes forward as you move toward the driver's seat, so there's just a little bit more clearance there. To get to the fridge, you push the front seat forward, move our high-tech safety cord, it just slides right out. Another cool thing about the Element is the floor is already this kind of like rubber mat material, so we didn't have to like build a subfloor or build any of that stuff. It's just ready to go. This is the Set Power fridge. I got it online for $179. It's a 12.5 liter capacity fridge, so you can fit a lot in here. It was definitely enough room for 2 people. This is our pride and joy. This is our trash can. It used to hold like bleach or chlorine or something. We just found it in the garage.
Keeps the smells inside, and it fits really nicely into our front, like middle console here.
As you'll see, there's no shower in our Honda Element. So with that in mind, we didn't need to build a huge water tank like you'll see in a lot of vans. What we opted for instead was a kind of modular bag water system. This is a 5 liter bag. We have 4 of them. 2 of them are collapsed right now. These water bags lasted for a really long time.
Because spoiler alert, couscous doesn't take that much water to cook.
But another huge reason that we didn't go through tons of water was we used spray bottles to do our dishes. So basically you fill a small spray bottle up with a Dr. Bronner's dilution, and another one's just water. The other piece of the puzzle is this silicone scraper. Gotta clean it. Gotta keep it clean. You swoop it and you swoop it, you spritz it, you rinse it, and then you dry it. And it's really easy. We were using like less than 1 liter of water per week to do like all of our dishes. I will say, I don't think that this system is gonna last forever. And we're noticing a little bit of wear and tear on the corners of these bags from like being kind of shoved under the bed over and over. The clearance on this bench is about 8 inches. So a lot of the boxes and bags and like containers that you see on Amazon are just too tall. The other element of our water is these Catadine filters. We have 2. We got these as a gift a long time ago. They're great little filters. So if you want a really simple system, buy a basket at the 99-cent store, buy the bags. Is it gonna last you for 2 years? No. This is our electrical setup. This is almost everything that we have that needs power. We've got our little GoPro, we have a DJI, we've got some fans, portable batteries, but these 2 are the stars of the show. To be clear, we did not use both of these. There's a little backstory behind our battery. We bought the EcoFlow River 600 because I wanted something portable yet powerful that could run a fridge, could charge our laptops, could charge all of our devices. Read a ton of reviews and I went with this guy. We got it on sale for a little bit less than $300. It was like $279, which is an amazing deal for this because it can handle 600 watt power supply, which is like enough to do almost all appliances except for like a blender. It's got really good capacity. It's 287 watt hours. It charges off of the car. You can charge it off solar power or you can plug it into the wall. What happened though is about 2 days before our trip, I was trying to charge it with a solar panel that we bought on Amazon. And for whatever reason, it fried the circuit board. We reached out to EcoFlow. The customer service was really good. They replaced it, but we didn't get the replacement in time to go on our trip. So what we did instead was we bought the Goal Zero Yeti 200. This little guy. We were just kind of freaking out and we couldn't get anything shipped because batteries take a few days to ship. So we had to go in person and none of the stores had the battery that we wanted. This was the best we could do, and I'm kind of happy we got this. It's like insanely small. This is a 200 watt hour device, a little bit more than half the size of our original battery, which made me really nervous. It performed really well. It's got 12 volts, so we can deliver power to the fridge. It's got USB-A, USB-C, and an inverter for plugging something in. But we mostly just used it to run our fridge. You can fit it in a backpack, and so anytime we stayed in a hotel or stayed with friends, we could bring it in and recharge it. It charged off the car. So you have to buy an extra 12 volt car adapter for the Goal Zero, which is kind of a bummer that they don't include it. It's like 30 bucks. My quick sort of user review is these are actually the same exact price, which is sort of a bummer. You do get a much better deal with the EcoFlow, more capacity, better wattage rating, but it's bigger, which in a van this size does matter. You'll notice I kept them in the foam packaging. That's just a hack to keep them, like when you're driving over rough roads, it also keeps them from sliding around because it fits really well. We also have sort of extra portable power. This is the Magix portable battery pack. It's been surprisingly nice to have those little tiny modular things for like charging your phone at night, so you don't have to get under the bed and do all that. So here's just a few of our other electronics. Again, we didn't want to do wiring. This is a no-build Honda Element camper. This fan has 3 settings, so we didn't need to cut a roof fan into our car, which is important. They recharge really easily off of our batteries, but it also has a light. The last part of our electrical system was a string of twinkle lights. We just plugged it into our Magix, put it up into our mesh attic storage area, and turned it on every night. And it was absolutely lovely.
It's our 12 volt plug. It's where we keep the battery plugged in. So it just runs along the length of the car. Whenever we're parked somewhere, we just unplug it. In this model, this is the EX model of the Honda Element, there is another 12 volt plug back here. We initially were going to charge our battery off this plug, but because of the design of where it is and that it's kind of hidden, we realized after like 2 days that we couldn't reliably tell if our battery was charging while we were driving because it was a little finicky to plug in. This is our mesh cargo net. It's essentially our attic storage for our vehicle. We have our Reflectix window coverings that we built ourselves. We have our pillows and our blankets for sleeping, as well as we keep some of our mosquito nets in here and our twinkle lights to make this into a chandelier. We attached this from the actual handles that are on the ceiling of the Honda Element, and because of the location of these handles, this netting is in a space that doesn't affect the head height. I'm 5'1", so I have no problem sitting up straight in our car. Shawn does because he's 6'1". So now I'm going to show you what we call our felt hanging storage. There's one on the driver's side. We have another one on the passenger side. Essentially, it's a his and hers, you know, Shawn's and mine. I would like to maybe figure out a way that these don't swing as much. It's just slightly annoying. However, they usually just tuck behind our behind the backrests, so they are out of the way when we're driving, which is the most important thing. And we just zip tied them to these handles at the top. We have 2 hanging drawers. One is Shawn's and one is mine. And this is most of our clothing storage are these drawers. When we stay in someone's house, we just pull the whole drawer out and take it with us. See, look, Shawn's so organized. Underneath the drawers, we have these little baskets we got at the dollar store. And I use mine for my shoes since I have 4 pairs of shoes in this car. And then on top of the drawers, I actually kind of have a little like tuck spot and I keep my hats there. It's always sun hat, sun protection. So these drawers are hanging from our racks, our seats essentially. We have another hanging storage. Again, it's just Velcroed on. These are like bedside storage, essentially for like dorms and college students. And this one is perfect for our butane, and sometimes we store extra water bottles in here. And then there's these big deep storage pockets here where Shawn has a chair. We keep a mosquito net in there. It's a pillow. Oh no, wait, it's more. It's actually a stuff sack for all of our jackets. And we just keep this zipped up. And we have a throw pillow. We have another pocket on the front of the passenger side because we're not pulling any storage out in the front side like the drivers with the fridge. In this pocket, we have essentially our emergency toilet paper kit. Get a shovel, bring some toilet paper, maybe some poo-poo bags. Yes, I said poo-poo on YouTube. And you never know when you have to use this, which is never Shawn. Surprisingly, when we build these racks, there's actually a lot of space between the side of the wall and the rack itself. So we keep our bags for dirty laundry. Shawn has the same on his side, and I think he has a fanny pack over there for hiking. On the doors, I keep my sandals and another dry bag. And then on the front door, I have all of our maps. Crossword puzzles, very important. The other most important thing is bringing lots of tote bags, because every time you go grocery shopping, tote bag. And anytime I go in to stay in a hotel or a friend's house, you have to put all your stuff into something to carry.
My sandals go in this door. Again, the floor of the Honda Element is really great, so you don't need a vacuum or anything like that. You just need a little whisking brush.
So these back windows pop open, which is how we keep them open during the night so that we have some airflow. But mosquitoes love me and all sorts of bugs. So I hand sewed some mosquito net, and I put a little bias tape, which I made myself from some fabric that I had left over. And we put those little neodymium magnets inside. I think it goes this way, yep. And we just magnet that on, and ta-da, bugs be gone. They don't come inside. So I made one each for the back windows, and I did make these big ones for the front windows as well. These are a bit of a pain, and we only use these if it's super hot. I also made one more really big one for the back. That's just magnets on the top, and then we just kind of tuck it around the sides. We also custom cut Reflectix for each window, and on the back, we spray adhesive glued a black fabric. This black fabric is just a curtain because it was the cheapest way to buy a black fabric. So we have one for each window, and each one is one black side, one Reflectix side, because black is for stealth. You don't want anyone to see into your car. That just looks like a tinted window. Reflectix keeps the sun out or our heat in if we're sleeping. Our front windshield though, that one's just the Reflectix. There's no black on that. We used gaff tape along the outside and made it a little bit more sturdy.
Thanks so much for watching our Honda Element tour. We had a really great time building it. We had a lot more fun driving it around.
That's exactly what we wanted it to do, which was let us get out there and have some adventures.
So let us know if you have any questions about the specifics, anything like that. We're going to put all the links, as many links as we can, down. Our neighborhood dog is here. We're going to put as many links in the description so that you can get something similar.
Toastie,
Pivot! And talk about, hey Darla.
You're filthy!
The neighborhood dog just came over.
She's old, she won't put her paws